Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 17th of January, 2024. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. So guys, let's jump into the charts. The first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. So we're seeing finally a bit of retracement. So this week, yes, after a massive explosion here last week, Nikkei is correcting back down a little. However, we're currently near my key support zone, which I looked at previously as a good area of resistance, which it did act as a good area of resistance, and now it's doing a good job as an area of support. So why not? Why not to consider that? So 61.8 here percent on my Fibonacci extension, which is drawn from the lowest point of January of 2023 to the highest point of June of 2023, and then to the lowest point of October of 2023. So as you can see, the 35,500 area is doing a very, very good job in providing that support. So what to expect next? Basically, as long as we remain above that little hurdle, this little area, yes, I will continue targeting the upside, where my next target will be the 78.6% retracement on the Fibonacci. In order to consider a move lower, now, this is where I will apply another Fibonacci. This one's a Fibonacci retracement. So if we do draw it from around here to around here, you can see that we still have around a little bit of room to go for that 23.6. And let me just adjust this, to put it a little bit on the left, because again, it's a little bit in the way. So yes, and actually this is another thing that I wanted to do, extend it. Where's that? Extend lines to the right. There we go. So you can see clearly that we still have a bit of room here, and if we of course apply the Fibonacci retracement this way, because maybe we could apply it this way and we would be already near this 23.6. Well, in other words, actually something tells me that I think that this would be this would make a little bit more sense, because it kind of aligns nicely with my other targets. Talk about being biased a little bit. Look, I think that at this point, given that we already did the 23.6% retracement here, and we've tested that 61.8 retracement on the Fibonacci extension, this kind of proves that this is quite a strong area of support, which we need to keep an eye on very carefully. If we do rebound from it, yes, I will consider a move to the upside. However, if we start dropping below this and we start moving below that 23.6, below that 61.8% retracement on this bigger Fibonacci extension, then yes, I will consider a move towards that 38.2 or the 50% retracement here, which, by the way, the 50% retracement on the Fibonacci, on the small Fibonacci, kind of aligns with the 50% on the bigger this Fibonacci extension, which, well, I do like when lines like that add up. So it means that this could be a very nice target to consider if we do drop and stay below that 35,000 kind of 500 zone somewhere, or maybe even better 400, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. And yes, I will go further south. China 50 is drifting nicely to the downside. So long story short, for now, I am looking at this 10,985 zone, and I talked about this, and I said that if we do drop and stay below it, then yes, I will go lower. my next target is the lower side of the falling channel. I will consider that. Look, in general, today we got the China GDP number and, well, a bunch of other numbers as well. Just I'll mention that in a bit. So we're seeing right now the China 50 index drifting nicely to the downside. And yes, the GDP, the year-on-year figure, did not show up as a very nice number. Well, again, questionable because, look, not a very nice number. Yes, it didn't meet the forecast. The forecast was for plus 5.3%. It came out at plus 5.2. So the market is like, oh, it's like bad. It's really bad, you know. But no, it's still better than the previous plus 4.9. So, you know, maybe this is a little bit over exaggerated right now. And yes, this move lower could eventually kind of correct back to the upside because, okay, the retail sales did not perform very well. So the previous numbers was at plus 10.1. The forecast was plus 8, and it came out plus 7.4. So it's a decline, basically, a good decline. And Chinese unemployment showed a bit of a increase, which is bad as well. So, so yeah. But industrial production, which is quite important for China, especially. So, yep, it improved. So maybe investors will kind of adjust to that, and maybe they will, bring the index back up here. However, okay, at the moment, I get it. It's drifting lower, and I will have to stick to my idea that, as I said before, that if we do drop and stay below this territory, below that 11,000 mark, then yes, I will continue targeting the downside. Now, let's have a look at the ASX 200. So there we go, beautiful decline, and look at this. First of all, it had a very nice hold up yesterday near this downside line, which got we broke it initially, but then I said, look, eventually every kind of trend line gets tested again from the other side, and this is a good example of that. We tested this downside line, but what I said to you previously, that if we do drop below the 23.6 here percent retracement, which is around the 7,400 zone, then I'll consider a move lower, but initially towards this downside line drawn from the high of the 4th of February. And if this downside line gets broken, then this is where, I mean, it could open the door towards some lower levels. And the first level I will consider is this, the area around that 7,325.33 level, which is around the 50-day EMA here on my chart, which is shown as the red line. And there we go, perfect hold up here. The question is, can we go further south? So this is a good example of when you go just in small increments, lower, slowly, if it breaks that one, great. You look at down the next level, breaks that level, okay, great. You look at the next level. So this is how you go in this one. And this is, like I said, this is a perfect example. And we're seeing a good drift lower. My only question, I mean, will this find good support around here somewhere, or will it actually go further towards that 38.2 somewhere? Well, if we do drop below that 50-day EMA, then yes, I will consider a move towards that 38.2. I know, small little distances, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. And of course, tomorrow as well, we need to keep an eye on during the early hours. So yes, during Asia time, we will get the Australian job numbers. So keep that in mind. We're expecting the unemployment to remain the same, participation rate the same, but employment change, that's what's important, and this is what we're going to be keeping a close eye on, because if that one falls, because currently it is expected to decline, if that one falls further, then well, this is where maybe ASX 200 could continue sliding as well, and this is where we could see maybe that 38.2 getting reached. However, if there's a little improvement in the numbers, We could consider a move higher, especially if it climbs back above this downside line. If it stays above it, then yes, great, more buyers could join in. However, I would like to see a push back above the 7,400 zone somewhere here in order to go a little bit more to the upside. Why? Because at the same time, we would be above this downside line, which is drawn from the high of the 2nd of January. So a nice good break above this downside line, yes, could attract more buyers, and we could start considering maybe like a move towards this little area right here around the 7,520 or 500 level itself. So we'll see. Again, good potential targets here all the way higher, but that's what I'm saying. I need to see a push back above this territory in order to go to the upside. Dow Jones Industrial Average. Oh, by the way, good morning, everyone in the chat room. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all feeling nice and relaxed. Or maybe you wish already that it would be Friday. Well, yeah, I wish too. But hey, we need to kind of still middle of the week, so still there's a lot of stuff that could happen. Now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, yesterday we saw a decline. Okay, so Dow was the biggest loser yesterday. NASDAQ was the least. Least of the bigger losers, or should I say lost less. But anyway, look, I talked about this, and I talked about this little hurdle here, and I talked about this little area right there as well. So basically, we are in a range, somewhat in the range. So we're now testing the lower side of that range, and my question is, can we get a nice break through this territory? Because at the moment, yes, we are kind of breaking it, but can we stay below it? Because some of you might say, but hey, maybe this is not a very nice, looking head and shoulders pattern, which, yeah, okay, according to the TA rules, yes, if we break the neckline, the so-called neckline right here, where we currently are, then yes, this could open the door towards my towards my 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci. And then, yes, we will go from there. And that area is roughly around the 36,830, 50 zone, something like that. But actually a little bit lower. What am I talking about? Around the 800 zone, yes. So that would be my next target. But of course, if first of all, it would be the 50-day EMA, we would need to aim for that one. But again, I'm not rushing into things yet. Why? Because today we have the retail sales. If those numbers come out better, maybe we could see a bit of a push in the actually no, if they come out better, this is the thing. If those come out better, we could see a temporary move to the upside in the indices. However, I think that the dollar would still be the winner. Why? Because if retail sales come out higher, that means people are spending more. That means people can afford, and that means inflation could pick up again. And if inflation picks up again, that means this is bad for the Fed, and the Fed will have to start scaring us that they will not do 3 rate cuts, they will only do 2 cuts. And this is where, the stock market could actually reverse to the downside. And this is where the DXY could go higher. And like I said, interest rates, nobody would hike, but just it would be a little bit more this scaring of the Fed, of trying to scare everybody, saying that they're not going to do 3 cuts, they're going to do 2 cuts. That would scare off maybe the stock, the people in the stock market, and this is where we could see a nice decline in indices. Let's see if that's going to work out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something here. But again, we don't know everything, and unfortunately, that's why we need to kind of adjust. We need to be careful. So for now, long story short, If we do drop and stay below that 37,390 zone right here somewhere, then yes, I will go further south. For the upside, I need to see a push above the 38,113 zone right here in order to go higher. All this area right here is somewhat of a neutral one for me, because again, this could be arranged. So let's say assume a scenario if we do rebound from this territory, which is the potential neckline or the lower side of the range. If we do rebound from it and push higher, then we could basically consider the idea when this little range is kind of a little pause before a further push higher. Why? Because the prevailing trend to the upside, the prevailing trend was to the upside, is to the upside, and we entered the range, and now we could see another pop higher, because like I said, because this might be seen as a continuation pattern. So just to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up, so so that you wouldn't be surprised if suddenly you see a push higher. So again, there are two scenarios, and at the moment, I mean, if you're not sure, leave it, because what I'm expecting here to happen is, let's say, a breakout here to the downside. If we stay below this, then yes, I will go lower. But if we fail to stay below this territory and we will push back up, then we'll have ourselves a nice, beautiful false breakout. S&P 500. So this one is drifting lower, but again, okay, this one for me is a little bit of a mess. I think that this did not work very well. I have to remove this, I think. What I am considering here is something around this, basically, something around these lines. So yes, there could be some more downside, but I'm going to be very careful, and I'm going to be very cautious around the 4,757 territory. If we do break below this, then yes, I will go a little bit lower towards that 50-day EMA, and yes, I mean, if we do clear this, yeah, and yes, I'm going to go lower. If we do rebound from this territory, from this little hurdle like this, for example, then I will consider maybe a possible inverted head and shoulders pattern here, which is not really, the most exciting one, but hey, maybe it could work out. So like this, a rebound here could be possible, and then we could take it from there. So for now, I'm leaning towards this territory. If that gets cleared, then yes, I'm going to go a little bit lower. NASDAQ. So yes, NASDAQ lost the least yesterday. So look, we fell below this 16,868 territory. I talked about this one. As long as yesterday we kind of created this nice little false breakout. So as long as we remain below this zone, then yes, I will go for a larger correction to the downside towards this upside line drawn from the low of the 4th of December. If we do rebound from here, then yes, great, I will consider a move back up. If this upside line gets broken and we fall below the 50-day EMA, then yes, I will aim for the downside. The German index, very quickly, and this one is a little bit more bearish. There we go. We are drifting to the downside, and we are moving towards that 50-day EMA. To be honest, I'm kind of leaning towards that. So for now, everything's working out according to the plan. The plan was that we could be seeing something of a maybe descending triangle pattern, but again, not a very attractive, not a very good one, to be honest. So basically this 23.6, that's what basically was holding the index from dropping lower, together with this 16,600 zone, and yeah, that one got violated, and now we are seeing a move towards that 50-day EMA, and if that gets cleared, then certainly yes, lower levels could be met. We could target that 38.2 or this 16,305 zone, and then we could take it from there. For now, yes, I am leaning towards the downside as long as we remain below this 16,600 zone. In terms of the upside, well, this is where I will maybe keep an eye on this 16,662 territory, something like that. But even then, I think that this might not work. Actually, no. No. Look, I think that the easier option is to just wait for a push back above this 16,600 zone. If we stay above it, then yes, great. I will consider a move to the upside, and I will consider a move towards this downside line drawn from the high of the 14th of December, and then we'll take it from there. The FTSE 100. There we go. We're sliding nicely, and well. Look, we got some data. Just right now, when I started the webinar, we received the British CPI figures, and those came out higher. So the CPI number came out at 4%. The year-on-year I'm talking about, the year-on-year headline came out at plus 4% against the forecasted plus 3.8. Yep, core as well higher. So that's just a second, guys, just a second. So yes, I need to get out of the chat here. Anyway, so we're seeing some negativity here on the FTSE 100. Why? Well, because again, higher inflation means that a possibility for higher interest rates, or at least, let's say, a reduction in the cuts of the potential cuts in, on the current interest rate. So, and this is where we're seeing, and this is with the negativity we're seeing here right now. So I'll jump into the pound dollar later on, just to see what's happening there. I'm kind of assuming, I don't know yet, but I'm assuming it's pushing a little bit to the upside. But again, let's wait and see. And yeah, so at the moment, everything's working out, and actually this worked out nicely. I said to this week that if we do break this upside line and we fall below the 7,558 territory, I'll lean towards the 7,468. Boom, fantastic. Good result. I'm very happy with this one. So let's talk what's next. Well, next is this. If we do remain somewhere below this 7,468 territory, I will, or actually, no, you know what? No. I'm not going to say that, because this, this level now, it was just a good target. But now I don't think that this is going to be a very good area of resistance or something like that. I think that 7,470 around here, maybe that could be something. So if we stay below this, then yes, my next target is this area right here. So basically I need to draw my arrow a little bit this way, and yes, this is going to be what I'm going to be aiming for, the 7,400 zone. Yeah, that's going to be my next target if we stay below the 7,470 territory. In terms of the upside on this one, well, in terms of the upside, I need to see a rebound from this territory, from that 7,470 zone, in order to go higher, in order to see a bit of a retracement here. I'm not talking about something like radical of a strong push to the upside. No, a strong push to the upside could come on a break of this downside line. Only then. That's my idea. That's my scenario. So let's see if that's going to work or not. Now, again, for now, this is what I'm thinking of here. So, hey, let's see if that's going to work out or not. The US dollar, there we go. So this week, US dollar is enjoying life. Yes, seeing positivity today. We have the retail sales, US retail sales. So keep your eyes on that. As I said already, I was already mentioned that if numbers come out better than expected, this might play out in favor of DXY. Again, look, my target in general got reached. I'm happy with this, because I said to you that if we do pop up with the 102.38 zone, then yes, I will aim for the 50-day EMA. If that gets cleared, then my next target is the 100-day EMA. Tick, tick. Now, the question is, can we go further north? Well, for that, we do have some obstacles which we need to overcome first. And if we do overcome the 100, the 200-day EMAs, then yes, great, I will go to the upside. I will go towards that 104.26 territory, and then we'll just take it from there. In terms of the downside, well, the downside here is actually if we do fall back below the this 50-day EMA, that's from where I'm gonna consider a move lower, and not this level, actually, not the breakout level here. Now I'll keep it here, but it might be as a good area of support later on. It might act as a good area of support, but I think I will stick to this. I'll stick to this upside line. If that gets cleared, great, wonderful. We will see a bit of a move to the downside. So yes, that's my game plan here. If we do, like I said, if we do continue to trade above this upside line, and we clear these EMAs, then yes, I will go further north. Let's jump into gold, and there we go. Gold did finally test this upside line. I talked about this yesterday. If you remember, I talked about this and I said that keep your eyes on this barrier, this 2058. If we kind of remain below it, then maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. I talked about yesterday in our joint session with Jindao Tai. We discussed gold, and I talked about this, and I said that this whole area will be somewhat of a neutral one for me. If we start breaking this upside line and we fall below the 2015 territory, this is from where I'm going to get even more excited with the downside. With the upside, at least in the short run, at least I need to see a push back over the 2058 zone. If we can get that, great, I will go higher. At the moment, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside. Some might say that this is a head and shoulders pattern, but not a very attractive one, I would say. But look, and it's not. We don't really even have like a fully clear head and shoulders, because we don't have a point here. So it's not really like ideal, I would say. So that's why I will be, for now, monitoring this one. If we do drop and stay below this territory, then yes, I will go to the downside. Silver, very quickly. So silver is drifting lower as well, and yes, that is wonderful. If we fall below this 22.51 zone, then yes, I will go lower. That's what I'm going to consider. So yes, at this point, I will go, like I said, I will go to the downside if we do drop below this little territory right here. Again, not much to add, actually. Not much to add. For the upside, I need to see a break of that downside line in order to go higher. If we can get that break, I will, of course, keep my eyes on the EMAs. And if we do break this territory, break this 23.53 territory somewhere here, then yes, I will get even more excited with the upside. Let's jump into oil. Oil is nicely drifting to the downside, so cannot really still sustain the upside momentum. But yeah, I mean, of course, the stronger US dollar is not really helping out here, and at the moment. At the moment, I am watching this upside line. If I can get that move below this upside line, great, I will go to the downside. I will go lower, and then we'll take it from there. In terms of the upside, I need to see a push at least back above the 50-day EMA, and I would like to see the body of the daily candle staying above it in order to go to the upside here. So while we remain in this territory, I'm just neutral. Natural gas, boom, boom. Now that's a fall. Look at this. I mean, natural gas declined heavily. I mean, this is just. Do we have anything? No, this is just this one. Look. I mean, this fell back below the 200-day EMA. I talked about this recently and said that we might see a correction, but I'll get more comfortable with that correction to the downside if we do fall below the 200-day EMA. And this is what we're getting. We're getting that drop. We're getting that move. So we fell below the 100 and the 50-day EMAs. So now my next target is the upside line. It's upside line drawn from the low of the 13th of December. If we can reach that, that would be great. For now, I'm going to lean towards that, towards this line, as long as we remain below all my EMAs, on the daily chart. In terms of the upside, I would like to see a push back, and let me just put this on the chart. I'd like to see a push back above this 2.96 territory. If we can get that, great. I will go higher. I will consider a move towards that 3.4 again, maybe. And then we'll take it from there, basically. Sugar, something that I wanted to run by you, and look at this. Sugar is picking up the upside momentum, and we broke the 22 territory, and now we're kind of traveling. It seems like we could be traveling towards that 38.2. That's going to be my next target, which is roughly around that 23.13 level. Around here we can also test the 50-day EMA. Good potential target. So at the moment, pretty straightforward. I talked about this before, and I said that if we do pop above this territory, I will go higher towards the 38.2 for now. For the downside, well, the downside previously I talked about this little hurdle, but I think that we could already start looking at some lower levels in the near term if we fall below this 21.33 zone, and then yes, we could kind of take it from there. Cocoa, and another one that is popping and rising nicely is cocoa, and of course this one is breaking my resistance barriers. Let me just remove everything and start fresh. Basically is breaking some of my resistance barriers here, so around this 4,334 area. A new higher high is confirmed, so well, now the question is, can we go towards that 4,500? This is what I'm going to be aiming for: 4,500, 600, 700, and so on and so on. So in 100 increments, increments of 100, I will be targeting. So yes, I will be going higher. So yes, I mean, pretty straightforward for me right now. But yeah, broke nicely the barrier, and I think that's not the highest point of December. This is the highest, 4,335. That's the highest point of December. So we broke it. Okay, great. If we somehow fall back below this, then yes, I will consider a move. To the downside, a bit of a correction towards the 50-day EMA. Bitcoin, let's jump into Bitcoin. There we go. So we're still struggling, after we saw a nice decline on Friday. It's kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news moment. Everybody was talking about this. So yes, I mean, what happened basically that last week we got the approval of the Bitcoin ETF, which is here. This happened on Thursday. We rallied, but then we found resistance, and there we go. We drifted back down. We fell below the 23.6 retracement here. We fell below my upside line. I talked about this as well. So yes, now I'm still leaning towards the downside, to be honest. I think more downside could come, so I will be aiming lower as long as we remain below the 23.6 here and this upside line. If we somehow climb back to the upside and climb back above the 46,000 mark, yes, I will consider a move a little bit more to the upside. Ethereum is quite nice, and Ethereum is quite interesting here. So if we do break below the 2,450 zone right here, then yes, I will consider a move lower. And at the moment, we're stuck in this little area, so I'm just observing the price action. If we do pop above the 2,717 zone, then yes, I will consider a move higher. Ripple is stuck. Ripple is interesting, to be honest, because look, everybody's now talking about the Ethereum ETF, right? I mean, okay, look, we got the Bitcoin ETF. That's why maybe Ethereum is a little bit still holding on here, not falling off the cliff. But then Ripple is the one that everybody's going to be watching. How basically the SEC will go with the Ripple case. Will they actually abandon it because of all this positivity around Bitcoin and Bitcoin ETF? So what if Ripple ETF suddenly comes out? Ooh, that's going to be like a bit of a blow for the SEC, I think. But okay, let's wait and see. Because it would be a little bit unlogical right now if the SEC would still charge Ripple, and they'll try to do something with Ripple. Look, I'm I don't have a position in this one. I mean, I'm just observing the price action, and at the moment, what I'm seeing is here that there is a potential for some downside on this from the technical perspective. So, yep, let's see if we can fall below that 200-day EMA. I think this upside line needs to go. A bunch of levels need to go as well, I think, or be changed at least. So, yep, look, I think it's the easier option is this, that if we do push back and stay above the all the EMAs, I will go to the upside. If we do push below the 200-day EMA, then it would mean that we were below all the EMAs here on my daily chart, and then we could see maybe a bit of a drift lower. At the moment, the crypto is coiling up and it's getting into a bit of a squeeze, so let's see which way this one will pop. AUDUSD, there we go. Beautiful move to the downside. I mean, AUD and NZD are getting trashed this week. Yes, everybody's jumping into something a little bit more like safe haven type, like the US dollar, like the Japanese yen. However, I will reiterate that on Japanese yen or the Swiss franc. I think on the contrary, everybody's just jumping into the dollar. That's it, period. Not everybody's jumping into something like safe havens. Yeah, I'll have to rephrase all that. But the US dollar is the winner. And yes, I mean, we're seeing here that everybody's like abandoning AUD, and look at this. I mean, we are falling off the cliff, and I talked about the 0.6640 territory recently, so there we go. It worked out nicely. On Monday I talked about this, and then we drifted lower. We fell to these remaining EMAs, the 100 and the 200, so that's fantastic, great. And now my question is, where will it go further? I mean, where is going to be that little area of support which could hold this pair from drifting lower? And in my opinion, it's going to be somewhere around here, somewhere around this 0.6525 territory, somewhere like here, basically. Let's see. Or, I mean, somebody might say that, hey, what about this little territory? Yes, could be good as well, 0.6542. So this would be our first target. But if that gets cleared, maybe we could see a drop lower below this. I mean, look, the way I'm seeing it, that it could fall all the way towards the 0.6525, but could rebound from here, and the body of the daily candle would stay above the 0.6542 zone, somewhere around here, basically in a similar fashion as here. And this way, then we could maybe see a rebound back up, and guess what could be forming? Yes, you are right. A possible head and shoulders pattern later on. But again, let's not rush into conclusion yet. Let's see what's going to happen in this territory, because again, let me just highlight it for our future reference. This is what I will be targeting for now. Now, AUDNZD. AUDNZD is an interesting one here, and yes, it is drifting lower. Look, in general, I'm going to stick to my game plan because we are seeing something which is coiling up. So while we remain in this territory right here, maybe I will just kind of continue observing the price action. For now, yes, this is, like I said, this is what I will be looking at here. And if we do break one of these trend lines, I'm talking about this upside line here drawn from the low of the 18th of December of 2022, so this long-term upside support line, or if we do drop, or we do break the short-term downside line right here drawn from the high of the 1st of November, and if we get that, then yes, great, I will consider a move to the upside. NZDUSD, there we go, another one which is kind of looking in a similar form as the AUDUSD, and again, let's see, this is working out nicely. So we broke my upside line, so we're drifting lower, that's absolutely fine. And now the question is, can we see a hold up somewhere around here, somewhere maybe around these levels? So first level I'm aiming for is, of course, that 0.61 zone. Slightly below that, we do have the 0.6086, which also could be a nice good target, and then we will just kind of take it from there. This is where I'm kind of aiming for now. I will see if it's going to get a hold up or not. This needs to go. I think we can reuse it and actually recycle it and put it here. Always recycle, guys. There we go. Hidden message for you there. Yep, for now, like I said, this is what I'm gonna consider and what I'm gonna aim for. So, hey, yeah, why not? Why not? And if this gets cleared, of course, if this whole zone gets violated and we stay below it, then yeah, of course, we could go further south. CHFJPY, just a quick one. So yes, a beautiful rebound. Beautiful rebound here. Yes, we are keeping an eye on this 171.50 territory. So that's my breakout for the upside. I talked about this yesterday in our joint webinar and on Monday as well. So yeah, even though we saw a bit of a retracement, we reversed back up, and now it seems like we could see a push higher. And this is what I'm kind of talking about. Basically, it seems like the Japanese yen is on the weaker side right now. Similar stories with USDJPY here. You can see that we are pushing further north. And in a way, yeah, this dollar strength is showing that investors are jumping into the US dollar. Stock market, it seems like to be getting abandoned. However, I'm not writing it off yet because... look, maybe this is a good indication that, you know, if people are abandoning Japanese yen, maybe this is a good indication that the risk on environment is kind of improving, and maybe people will jump back into stocks at some point. Okay, look, I'm not rushing into things. Let's see. For now, this is working out nicely. I talked about this yesterday, if you remember, or yesterday and the day. And on Monday, I said that if we do pop above this territory, my next target is the 61.8, which is around 147.45. Tick. Fantastic. Good result here. What's next? Well, next, I think it's time to maybe get rid of the Fibonacci. I think that we had our good run. Thank you very much. Let's see what's next for us here. Well, next, actually, I'm going to be aiming for this 148.80 zone first, and then we'll take it from there. That's what I'm going to be aiming for now. If we do clear it and we clear this 148.80 zone, then yes, great. I'll aim for the 149.69 territory here somewhere, and then we could just kind of take it from there. Let me just remove this very quickly because this is a little bit in the way. There we go. So, USDCHF also pushing nicely to the upside. Again, I see this as a nice copy of the dollar index. So, hey, why not? We're approaching this 50-day EMA, which could be a nice good hold up here. If that gets cleared, wonderful. My next target is the 100-day EMA. And if that gets cleared, then yes, I'll aim for the 200-day EMA. So on and so on. Look. For now, I mean, I like this area, really do. I really do. The 0.8820, good potential target. I know it's a lot here, but in general, yes, it could be quite a nice target. Another target to consider is somewhere around here, near the 0.8666 level. But again, it's a little bit on the tentative side. Maybe it's not going to carry much significance. Who knows? But let's aim for that one first. If by any chance we push above the 50-day EMA, let's aim for this hurdle first. If that gets cleared, then yes, I'll just aim for the 100-day EMA, wherever it's going to be. USDCAD, very quickly on this one. Yes, continues to push higher as well, so everything's nice and clear here. Yesterday we got the Canadian CPI numbers; those came out. So the core and the headline came out as expected, but the median and the trimmed did improve, so did go higher. And but we're not seeing here the strength of the Canadian dollar. I think that the strength of the Canadian dollar got overshadowed by the stronger US dollar and weakening oil. And this is what, this is where we're seeing USDCAD pushing nicely to the upside. So if you thought that if you thought that when you look at the Canadian CPIs and if those come out higher, you should kind of go into Canadian dollar blindly. No, just you have to evaluate which currency pair is the stronger one that week. and in this case is the US dollar. So pairs like EUROCAD, I mean, those are actually acting a little bit better. So let me just show you very quickly in terms of EuroCAD. I'm not going to pick up on that one today, but as you can see, I mean, yesterday it did push lower. Today, I think that it calmed down. I think that the fact that the US oil, not the US oil, this oil is drifting lower. I mean, that's what's having the negative effect on the Canadian dollar. So yesterday it strengthened, yes, on the news, but yeah, it was kind of short-lived. So anyway, coming back to the pairs here that I have. So USDCAD, I'll continue targeting the upside. My next target is this downside line. Now it's a little bit on the tentative side because again, excuse me, I have it, you can draw it this way, you can draw it a little bit this way, so it's a little bit, like I said, yeah, on the tentative side. So if you're looking for some higher levels, then yes, I will probably aim just initially. If I'm looking for a level, then I'll aim for something around here, around this 1.3549.50 zone. I think that's a good target. The 1.3550 is a nice good target. US dollar against the Chinese yuan. So yes, as I said, numbers did not come out very well. In general, I mean, they're not tragic, the numbers that came out in China, but as you can see, the market is not liking that. And yes, I mean, the dollar strength is here driving this pair, US dollar against the Chinese yuan offshore, is pushing this pair above this 7.20 zone. So this is a very nice area of resistance. It got violated, so we remain above that. We remain above all of my EMAs right now on the daily chart. So basically, as long as we stay above this whole territory here, then yes, my next target is somewhere around here, the 7.27 territory, and then we will kind of go from there. So this is what I will be targeting. In terms of the downside, I think that you probably understand that a break somewhere below this upside line could be needed, and at the same time we'd probably be already placed below the EMAs here, all the EMAs on my daily chart. US dollar against the Mexican peso, another indication of a stronger US dollar this week. There we go. We popped nicely above my level, above my barrier. My barrier was around here, the 17 zone. And there we go. We are nicely testing we tested already the 50, the 100. So let's see if we can test the 200-day EMA. I will continue targeting that as long as we remain above the 100-day EMA. Shown here is the green line. GBPUSD, so there we go, a positive reaction. The number, this is what I talked about. So the FTSE was drifting lower. This is what I mentioned to you in the beginning of the session, that the FTSE drifted lower because the CPIs came out higher, and also PPI input-output declined. But yes, the pound is reacting positively and we're rebounding. Look, in general, the area here got reached. I mean, I talked about this idea as a range here. So reached the target. So yesterday we were not there. We were still drifting lower, and I talked about this in the webinar, in our joint webinar yesterday. So you can check out that one. There is a recording in the recent videos section in the in trading view. But yeah, look, we're rebounding right now. So my question is, I mean, after we reached my target, can we see a push back up? Well, we could. However, I think that for me, in order to consider that scenario, I would like to see a push back above this 1.2690 territory, and then we could take it from there. So basically something like this, and then I will consider a larger move to the upside within the range. So yeah, that's the game plan. In terms of the downside, yes, a drop below this 1.2615 territory is required for me still. EURNZD, wow, this one is doing the opposite. I have to admit, I was really hoping to see this one moving lower. However, we're seeing a break through the upper side here of this barrier through all my EMAs on the daily chart. Look, I'm not gonna do anything here. I'm not gonna, let's say, get way too positive because I want to see if this is not going to end up being as a false breakout, because on the weekly chart you can see it more clear. You can see it clearly, and we had a few times a false breakout. 3 weeks in a row we had a false breakout here on the weekly chart. You can see it clearly. So on the downside here, and then it just pushed back up. So the same story. I don't want to rush into things. Okay, yes, we're breaking right now, but if we can stay above this at the end of this week, then yes, maybe going into next week we could go for a larger correction to the upside. EURJPY very quickly. So yes, we are pushing nicely to the upside, rebounding from this territory, the 158.57. I talked about this on Monday. I cannot add anything else. I mean, after a nice good retracement, I said to you that as long as we stay above this territory, my next target is the 161.25 zone, and then I'll take it from there. For now, I am aiming for that area, and then yes, as I said, I'll take it from there. I'll see what happens next. For the downside, a drop below the this territory, the 158.57, is required for me in order to consider a larger correction to the downside. And finally, EURUSD. There we go. We're breaking the upside line. Of course, stronger dollar. This is what this is what you get. And at the moment, my question here for now is, can we remain, can we continue going to the downside? So far, I'm going to stick to that idea, to be honest, because we fell below my 1.0890 or 1.09 territory. We fell below that. I talked about this. So as long as we remain below this, yes, I'm going to go further south towards my 200-day EMA, especially if we fall below the 100-day EMA. And then maybe I'll go for a larger correction here to the downside towards this upside line drawn from the low of the 3rd of October. So let's see how that's going to play out. So guys, that's it for this session. I tried to keep it quick and short, however, still took a bit of time. But yeah, we go through a lot of instruments, so I hope you find this useful. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for who's watching this one as a recorded session as well. Really appreciate that. So I hope you, like I said, I hope you find this useful. And if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, guys, thank you very much. And stay safe. Have your stop losses in place. Risk only what you can afford to lose. Don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So, like this video, we speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.